Welcome to this episode of Chalk Talk. In these talks, we talk to teachers about what methods they apply to make their classes effective, what kind of preparations they do for their classroom, and what do they do to engage effectively with students in the class. Today, our guest is Professor Ajit Chaturvedi, who is a professor of electrical engineering at IIT Kanpur. He is currently the Vice Chancellor of Banaras Hindu University at Varanasi. He is a very well-known teacher here and an awardee of Distinguished Teacher Award at IIT Kanpur. Ajit, welcome to the show, and thank you for accepting our invitation to be here. Before we begin our conversation, would you like to say something to the audience?
So thank you for inviting me to this talk series. The moment I came to know that it is about teaching, I wanted to do it, and I'm happy that it's finally happening.
Thank you very much. So now we begin our conversation about your being a teacher. So we'd like to start by asking you, when you decided to become a teacher, was it the influence of somebody in your family or some teacher or somebody else, some other person who influenced you to become a teacher?
If I try to recall the time or the instant when I decided to be a teacher, I don't think there is any such time instant. But I do recall the deep influence of my family, in particular my grandfather, during my early days as a child. I saw that although he was a lawyer by profession, he was deeply engaged in reading and writing. In fact, when I got some understanding of the world around me, maybe I would have been 8-9 years, I saw that he would spend almost his entire time writing books and doing some reading. And as an outcome of this, I saw that he was a prolific author and he gathered a lot of attention of people around him. And wherever we used to go, we used to be always referred to as his grandchildren.
Okay.
So I believe that it came naturally to me after that, that there is a reference point, that there is somebody who is always looked upon, and wherever we go, we are always referred to as his grandchildren, or the context is always him. So that probably had a deep influence. So it happened naturally. I don't recall any instant or any time when
so not any particular instant, but kind of environment you grew up in, and the kind of respect you saw that when people get, when they are learned, when they read and write. So would you then look back a bit and see that what did you have? Did you have any particular trait that gave you the feeling that you wanted to become an academician later, besides the influence of your grandfather, of course?
Sure. So I would say that again, during my early days, maybe around the age of 8 to 10, 12 years, I remember that whenever somebody came to visit my house, or we went to anybody's house, or at a wedding or some event, I was able to strike a conversation with people older in age than me.
Okay.
And people would have, they would be amused talking to me because I was much younger. And the reason why I was able to talk to them was because of my curiosity to learn about them. What is it that you are doing? I mean, how do you, what is the profession that you are pursuing, and the details about it. So I had some curiosity to know about people around me and places around me. So this curiosity led to striking conversations quite naturally. This curiosity also probably led me to read books when I was...
You wanted to know more when you're talking to people.
Yeah. So although I must say that I could not read too many books, but I always wanted to read more books, and I had a collection of books, and whenever required I would pick up those books and read specific portions.
Okay, very nice then. So, curiosity, enjoying talking to people.
Right.
I think that makes you a natural teacher.
Yes.
So you must be learning at a pretty fast pace at that age then, and because you could talk to people who are older than you are, you could talk to your uncles, aunts.
Yes.
Do you feel that gave you the kind of respect and attention that your grandfather used to get when he walked around?
No, I was of course a child in the family. In fact, I am the youngest in the entire joint
Okay.
family amongst my all cousins. But it is true that in India there is a culture that people look upon sort of academic performance as a yardstick.
Right.
So I was reasonably well in school. So that sort of brought the attention of the family to me.
Okay.
So I mean that was what was drawing attention that here is a
So you obviously, knowing things well,
Yeah.
getting people's attention, you must be enjoying it as a child, like any child would.
Yeah,
And that gave you further motivation to do it better and better.
probably yes. Probably yes.
So the environment really plays a role, in your opinion.
Huge role.
Huge role.
Yeah.
Huge role. Now, then you obviously were studying and getting interested in reading more and more, and probably little inclined towards science. And it is usually seen that people who are inclined towards science and decide early on to become an academician take either physics, chemistry, or math, no matter where they go. But you chose electrical engineering after you came to IIT. Tell us a bit more about it.
So that story is a bit funny and interesting.
Okay.
But I think now that you're asking, I think it's the time that I share it widely. See, the reason why I appeared in the joint entrance examination of IITs was not because I wanted to pursue engineering.
Okay.
In fact, as a class 11 student, I had come to IIT Kanpur to see the campus here, and my elder brother, who was studying in medical college at Kanpur, he accompanied me to the campus because I wanted to do physics.
Okay.
So, in fact, this is why I did not appear in the Roorkee entrance exam, MNRE entrance exam. None of these exams I appeared, which all my friends would appeared in, because I was told that IIT Kanpur has a fantastic 5-year MSc program.
Right. I went through that. So.
So that is why I appeared in JEE. Once I was selected at the time of counseling, my brother's friends were here, elder brother's friends, and several of them surrounded and said, "Ki, I think it's not a good decision to take up science at this stage. Why don't you try engineering? And I think you can get engineering and later on you can do science." So somehow I sort of agreed to that relentless sort of argument. I thought that there is some merit in it, and I took up electrical engineering.
Oh, wonderful. Now, it's very interesting that you say that your brother was studying medicine at that time. Probably same thing. He also, having grown up in that kind of environment you're talking about, enjoyed interacting with people. And medical also gives you that kind of opportunity.
Right.
Would you comment on that?
So, because he was in Kanpur, I mean before I joined IIT Kanpur, so he had more friends, and some of his friends were from Kanpur. So, yes, naturally he was interacting with them, and through him I was also interacting with them.
Okay, now having come to IIT Kanpur to study engineering, when you wanted to do physics, you did not even take Roorkee examination or MNRE examination. Did you ever feel in your studies during your stay here that maybe I could have taken the other subject and not engineering? Or were you just took electrical engineering as fish takes to water?
Yeah, actually, electrical engineering, I still do not think that it's not a science. So, and it's very close to physics also in that sense. It tries to explain several aspects of the way the civilization works, the world works. So, I would never felt that that I'm pursuing something that I don't like.
You enjoyed it
Yes.
because it was very much
Yes.
physics oriented.
It was physics oriented, and I was naturally inclined more towards theoretical stuff. I was never an experimentalist.
Okay.
So reading, writing, these kind of things came to me, and I never felt that that I'm out of place or that I'm not enjoying it.
So you just went with the flow and
Yes.
did your thing.
Yes.
Oh, very, very nice then. Now, you had decided pretty early that you were going to become an academician. And so it must have been really a foregone conclusion that you were going to follow your B.Tech with an MS, Masters, and a PhD then? Is that right?
So, when we came here to first year B.Tech, so most of the students would be undecided about what they have to do. So, my friends were sort of feeling as if how come this student has decided that he will go into academics.
Right.
But that is true that it was decided, and then I pursued my masters, as you said, and PhD because I had to pursue academics. So it came naturally. It was not a conscious choice that I made at
It
that
was
time.
just going with the flow, and
Yes.
you had decided that was
Yes,
to
and
do
all
that.
my friends knew it.
Right.
All friends, family, everybody knew it.
But it's very interesting that you decided to stay at IIT Kanpur for your masters as well as for your PhD. Trend at that time, and the trend continues. Students who do B.Tech from here usually go abroad, particularly US, for doing their masters and PhD. Any particular reason what made you stay here?
So before I answer your direct question, let
Yes.
me give you a brief
Sure.
context to
Yeah.
it. So at the end of my third year, I had still not made up my mind whether I will do PhD abroad or whether I would do it from here.
Okay.
So because of this reason, I spent my summer in the campus preparing for GRE and TOEFL.
Okay.
And I appeared both in GRE and TOEFL.
Okay.
Because the reason was that if I don't give GRE and TOEFL, I would have missed the bus in case I decide to go
Right,
abroad.
right.
So this decision did not come naturally. I had to put in effort to take a call on this. And the single most important person who played a most important role in this decision was my professor, Professor P.R.K. Rao.
Okay. Communications person.
Yes,
which you
yes,
also
yes.
covered, right?
Professor P.R.K. Rao, I still remember walking into his office as a student who was, I think, starting in the final year or something like that. I don't remember the month, but it was definitely 1985. In 1985, I walked into his office and I introduced myself because he had not taught any course by that time.
Right.
So
But obviously he was
he was well
known.
known.
Yeah.
He was well known, and so I went and asked this question that I hear that you are not a votary of people going abroad. So what do you think I should do? So he was very happy that I have come and talked to him, and I'm talking to him in this regard. So he said that see, if India has to become good, people from Poland will not come to do it.
Right.
I still remember the word Poland.
Poland,
He
yeah.
used the word Poland. People from Poland will not come here to make India. Now that sentence remained with me.
Right.
I couldn't find any answer to that sentence. So, and then one more thing, that because I was not an experimentalist.
Right.
See, many people have to go abroad or had to go abroad because they thought
Yeah.
that if I cannot do
Right.
cutting edge unless there is good experimentalists.
Right.
So that was the second reason. First was this, second was this. Both these decisions combined together, then sometime in July or August I took a call that I am not going to apply, and I never applied. So
Ajit, you said 2 or 3 times that you are not an experimentalist and you like doing theory. So tell us how this happened. I mean, you got inclined towards theory and away from experiments, if I may use the word.
see, I think those were the days when using your pencil or pen, you could get results without the need for computers. So I was sort of quite fascinated that whenever I am trying to do something, I am able to get the answer or result or outcome after half a page or 1 page or 1.5 pages without setting up anything, without going through the exercise of rigging it up and then trying to do the measurement. So this ability of theory to predict exactly what will happen in practice, that attracted me.
Okay.
That this is the foundation, this is able to do things without actually doing it.
Okay.
So I thought that this is the master.
Wonderful. Because I'll come back to this question again.
Right.
When we talk about teaching in laboratories.
Sure.
Okay, so now tell us your academic journey after you obtained your PhD from here, which all places you went to and how you came to IIT Kanpur.
So I was told during my PhD days that IIT Kanpur is a stickler in terms of not hiring its own faculty, and they would like their own PhD students to go to other institutions, whether in the country or outside.
So no inbreeding.
No inbreeding.
Okay.
So I was told very early in my PhD days. And I thought that that's a very good idea. So I instantly became a supporter that there should be no inbreeding. I never felt that, oh, this is not a good thing, I'll have to go. I said this is a very good thing. So I embraced it. And before my PhD was getting completed, I had started applying to other institutions.
Okay.
And one of those institutions happened to be BHU, where I am today.
Right.
So
Yeah, that time BHU IT was a part of BHU.
right. And the vice chancellor of BHU at that time was an electrical engineering professor from IIT Delhi.
Oh, wonderful. What a serendipity.
So CS Jha was there. I got a call for an interview. I appeared in the interview and fortunately I was selected. So I think 2 or 3 months before my thesis got submitted, I had the job offer. So I submitted my thesis, I think was 3rd January, and 4th January I joined 1994. I joined IIT.
And there was no
BHU.
requirement of doing a postdoc for 2-3 years as it is now? You could just join after PhD?
No, there was no requirement. In fact, I think IIT BHU did not even need a PhD because I had only submitted my thesis.
Okay.
It was
So with
not,
M.Tech you could get it?
Yes. Because I had not defended my thesis, it was only a submission. So I was able to join immediately after my thesis submission.
Okay. Very well then. Now you said that you embrace the non-inbreeding kind of philosophy, and so from your conversation it appears you've been a good student, follow the system properly, do things. Have you followed the same thing as an administrator now?
So when I joined IIT Roorkee as the director, so in my first few months itself, this question, if I may say, the Yaksh Prashna,
Yes.
this appeared in my conversations, in my dealings, and it was immediately pointed out to me that it will not be an easy thing to do. I said, but so many IITs are able to do that. People talked about legal questions, that it will be difficult to handle. I said, if we are not the first one to try it out, why not let's do it? I was able to talk to my heads of the departments, colleagues, and was able to convince them, not entirely I would say, but reasonably well.
Probably you had the conviction because you yourself had gone through it.
Yes. And of course I gave my example also, but I didn't give only my example. I said that this could be one of the reasons why many institutions abroad have done quite well.
Right.
So why not we pick up a best practice from abroad and try to emulate it?
Yeah. And what do you think is the idea behind not having inbreeding?
So my understanding is as follows, that inbreeding does not let you grow because you sort of join the group or join the same research area as your research supervisor.
Right. Also the areas also don't go, institute doesn't go, you don't grow.
And you stick to that area. Right. It's like your supervisor may be a banyan tree. You go and just sort of sit below the banyan tree. Right. So when will you become a banyan tree?
Right.
So it's very important that you create your own kind of footprint or imprint, and that can happen only when you become independent.
Yeah, you fly on your own basically.
Fly on your own.
Yes. So very well, then you went to IIT BHU on 4th January, you joined there. Then you shifted to IIT Roorkee, University of Roorkee at that
University
time.
of Roorkee.
Right.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Yes. So at that time I was lecturer at IIT BHU, and University of Roorkee had advertised, and in terms of pedigree in the engineering domain, academic engineering domain, University of Roorkee was placed higher compared to IIT BHU at that time.
Right.
I talked to several people as always, and it was almost sort of unanimous that it is better placed. And so I thought it will be a natural progression to go from one institution to the other institution.
Right, and your growth will become better.
Yeah. And also I'll get one more experience.
Right.
So that diversity will come.
Yeah, I think as faculty members, we are also always looking for growth, for learning new things, becoming better teacher, better researcher. So you want to move to places where there are more diversity, which is better placed. This gives you more opportunity for that growth. So at that time when you joined Roorkee, you went from one system, BHU IT at that time, University of Roorkee, and then you moved back to IIT Kanpur. You seem to be going around in circles all the time. So, tell us about these 3 different systems and what in particular attracted you to IIT Kanpur to become a faculty member here.
So, I'm very deeply sort of influenced by my 2.5 years at ITBHU. At ITBHU, I learned how much important research is. I mean, of course, at IIT Kanpur, I was doing a PhD and things like that. But being in a university setup, ITBHU probably had a very good culture of being interested in publications, journals, sponsored projects. That culture was very good there.
Oh, it was there at that time.
It was very good. So that part of my personality grew at ITBHU. When I went to University of Roorkee, the kind of commitment to teaching and academic ethics was very good.
I see.
Very good.
So you kept on learning new
Yeah, I
things.
kept on learning. I kept on learning, kept on enjoying.
Oh, yeah, of
Right.
course.
And also wherever possible, I would also give my inputs to that system.
Of course, you're learning, you're growing, and you want to see things differently. So
when I resigned from ITBHU to move to University of Roorkee, I actually met the Vice Chancellor at that time.
I see.
In fact, I remember he himself invited me.
Professor Jha from
No,
IIT.
no, not Jha. At that time it was Professor Hari Gautam.
Okay.
The VC had
Vice
changed.
Chancellor had changed. Yeah.
Ha. So when I left ITBHU, it was Professor Hari Gautam. I still remember the same residence where I am living there. I went to that residence at that time in his, in his space, personal space, and there he asked things about why am I moving, and whatever I thought I should suggest for BHU, I did suggest to him.
I see.
And he did take it seriously.
Okay.
A similar thing happened when I moved from University of Roorkee to IIT Kanpur. I met the then Vice Chancellor of University of Roorkee, Professor N.C. Nigam.
Okay. Oh, yeah. He was from all
Yes,
here.
N.C. Nigam from IIT. I met him and I gave my feedback again as to what was my experience, what was good and what was not so good. Both the sides I shared with him.
Okay.
So, and then I moved to IIT Kanpur. In fact, when I moved to IIT Kanpur, the decision to the timing or the decision to apply to IIT Kanpur was also sort of prompted by my teachers here.
Okay.
So they were sort of keeping track of my trajectory.
Oh.
And it
very,
was
very
I
interesting.
was almost about to complete 5 years. So 94 January to 99 February I joined here. So there was a prompting that why don't you come, why don't you apply?
So they obviously had this in mind that you should be joining here.
Yes, yes.
But they were giving you enough time so
Yes.
that inbreeding kind of thing doesn't come
5
in.
years is over, so I
Right.
think now if you want to come, not that they were forcing me,
Right,
not that, but there was that there is an opportunity here, there is a advertisement here, rest you take a call.
It's very interesting to know, Ajit, that again, how different people have been playing a very important role in your growth, in your going about your academics. I mean, you said you talked to Vice Chancellor at BHU, then you talked to Vice Chancellor at University of Roorkee, and then your teachers here were interested that you should come back. So, people's person, I think. So, tell us about, how this interacting with people really helps you in many, many aspects. You started from your grandfather, your family, your joint family, and now even during your studies and during your career, you're a people's person, and how do they influence you?
So I think when I look upon myself, I see I'm an amalgamation of so many personalities around me. I can see a bit of this, bit of that everywhere. So in fact, when I came to IIT Kanpur to deliver my faculty candidate seminar, right, at that time I remember I had brought transparencies. That was the day, those were days when you had transparencies.
Yes.
And my teachers were collecting my transparencies.
Okay.
So the kind
That
of
is a kind of encouragement.
by the humility or the kind of encouragement or the kind of bonding, whatever you say. So I imbibe all those things, or maybe everybody is like that. I don't know. That you are amalgamation of all.
You're being very humble. I think it's a quality, it's a virtue that you can absorb things from others and learn, and obviously it's helpful. And I particularly would like to like younger colleagues to learn from this. This is quite a virtue to learn from others, interacting with them. So thank you for that remark.
Yeah.
So tell us about how you got initiated into teaching at IIT Kanpur. You obviously had some 4 or 5 years of experience, but IIT Kanpur could be very, very different.
Right. So the reason why I I would say that I didn't have a difficult time in IIT Kanpur was because I always looked upon teaching as an opportunity to learn.
Okay. That's
So,
the kind of attitude you had. that
my
hadn't done.
my attitude even today is like that.
Right, right.
That if I get a class to teach,
Right.
I think that, oh, that's a very good opportunity for me to learn the subject.
Yes, yes.
So of course, when you are teaching something for the first time, as it happened when I came back to IIT Kanpur, I was teaching some subjects for the first time. So in that case, you have to prepare very hard.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you learn.
And then you learn. And now once you have learned, then you try to pick up experiences from the way you have learned.
Right.
Because initially I could not understand
Right.
this, then I tried this, then I learned. So then that journey of learning helps while you are delivering that lecture.
Yeah, because you know exactly the barriers.
Yes.
Exactly the difficulties that
Yes.
you faced.
Yes.
So that process is very important.
That
Put in hard
process-
work in making a course.
That process gives you the bends or the curves
Right.
where you can pause in the class
Right.
and sort of try and draw the attention of the student.
Very, very, very interesting. How did you, after coming here, because I think the environment out here could be such that it applies a lot of pressure.
Right.
How did you balance your teaching and research activities? Any mantra on
So
that?
I would say that I think first 2 years I could not balance. So I was totally focused on teaching. I remember that time. Once I found my sort of feet and somehow the feedback from the students was good.
Yes.
It was a very enthusiastic young crowd, and maybe I was able to gel with them. So they would be coming for the Silver Jubilee now.
Right.
So
Yes.
so some of them I met them.
Would you come back and join them again?
I might. I'll see that. So I mean, I had a good time. Once I found my feet there, then I naturally, without giving up my teaching priorities, I picked up on research.
Okay.
And I had no PhD student at that time. In fact, the department hardly had any PhD students.
Right.
And naturally, you don't want the department to be deprived of research from their faculty members.
Yes.
So something, happened. I managed to sort of maybe latch onto it. I had undergraduate students who came to me for internship.
And projects probably.
Internship. They said, I want to do a summer project.
Okay.
Right. I said, okay, but what course have you done? They said, no, I'm just in the second year. So I said, okay, come. Because I saw some opportunity there that if we can start working, because I didn't have PhD students.
Right. So at least get initiated. into it, yes.
Right. Now here is the students who can do. So I just threw something at them.
Okay.
Very casually.
Right.
They grabbed that with both hands.
Okay.
And by the end of 2 months, I had a very good paper in a top quality journal.
Wow. That's quite with an undergraduate.
Yes, two undergrad students.
2 undergraduate
Yeah,
students.
yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, that experience sort of showed that no, we can publish in the best journals from the department in the area of communications by doing theory.
Yes, by doing theory. Yes.
So that thing, of course, by that time computers were there. So computer was not a problem. We can do the computations, and because students are there, so you just have to interact with them, give them some ideas. They will do the hard work. You have to do the easy part.
Okay, so that's very interesting. It brings me to my next question, or thing that I want to know. You had a good training in research culture at BHU when you went there. Then you had a good exposure to what good teaching, engineering teaching is at University of Roorkee.
Yes.
Then you came here and you say that initially there were not many PhD students. So, and then you had to bring grants and things like those. And having been dedicated to teaching, was it difficult to adjust to this new culture where you had to think about research, and you obviously were struggling also, as is clear. So how did you go about it? What did you think? Did you find it difficult, and then you started working on it, meditating on it? How to go about it?
So I would say two things. One is that because I was interested in teaching, so I learned from the papers which were rejected.
Okay.
So a good number of papers got rejected, but when I read the rejection reviews carefully, I saw that the rejection is because of the way I was writing.
Okay. Not because of the content,
not
but the way
because
you're
of the
presenting
content.
it. Yeah.
So these reviews of the rejected papers helped me a lot. I focused on them. Fortunately, I did not degrade the, I mean, I did not go down in the journal list that, okay, this journal is not publishing, let me go to a...
Let me learn. I mean,
let
learning
me-
seems to be a thing that you're
let
doing
me
from-
learn and see if I can publish in the same journal.
Right.
And when I carefully read the reviews, of course, initial response was, oh, they are because the paper is coming from India, and so they are, I mean, that kind of initial feeling
Right,
came.
right.
But once you sat down and read carefully, then you would see, no, they have some merit. I think what they are saying is probably right. I made a mistake here, I made a mistake there. And because I was involved in teaching, I was able to articulate myself better.
Yes.
And the same journal started accepting.
Wonderful.
So that was also a learning journey.
Everything that came your way became a learning experience,
Yes.
and you kept on growing based on that.
Yes.
That's very. And how about writing for grants and things like those, because that also doesn't come naturally.
So I didn't do any hard work in this direction, primarily because I was in communications and a lot of grants were coming on their own.
I see.
I mean, in the sense that there were people who wanted work to be done.
right,
They would on their own come to me.
Okay.
So this did not give me any opportunity to learn. I didn't have to do any hard work for getting grants because of the area. Maybe that
Right.
could be a reason. So on my own, I got a lot of grants.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that was not much of a struggle.
that was not much of a struggle.
Now, as you're growing into the system, you're becoming senior, then you became the head of the department, then you became Dean R&D, and then you became the deputy director. Did you always carry out your research and do teaching in all three positions?
So I would say that as my institutional responsibilities grew, my ability to spend time with the student went down.
Naturally, yes.
That did go down. And if I'm not able to spend time with the student, naturally my research took a back seat.
Right.
So definitely I had to choose, and as long as I have a responsibility, it was very difficult for me not to spend time for that responsibility.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Regarding the teaching aspect, fortunately I could teach even when I was director at IIT Roorkee.
Oh, wonderful. That's very good.
So I continued teaching till COVID.
Till COVID, yes.
COVID broke that.
Yeah, because you had to manage many things, right?
And I had an additional responsibility of IIT Mandi.
Right.
So that was the first time when my teaching got interrupted. Otherwise, quantum of teaching changed. I was teaching less when I became head or DD or dean or director, but I was continuing my teaching.
So that teaching thread continues.
Yes, that continued.
Very nice. So tell us, what is your philosophy of engaging with the students in a classroom?
So my first major decision when I have to take a class is that I carefully choose the content to be taught.
Oh, so even given a syllabus, you'll still choose the content?
Yes.
Or maybe realign it with something?
No, when I say content, what I mean is that, okay, I have to teach phase lock loop.
Right.
That is a specific topic in communications. Now, phase lock loop, there will be a lot of details, there will be a lot of facts, there is a figure there, it has building blocks, it has a multiplier, voltage controlled oscillator, it has a feedback loop. So many such things will come,
Right.
and the student will get confused.
Right.
Because
many things coming here.
Many things, and all having their own concepts coming
Right,
together.
right.
So now I have to take a call, okay, which of these blocks I need to spend time in the class, and for which of the blocks I have to say, please assume that it is like this, we will not be teaching it.
We assume we'll do it later.
In
advanced
some other
courses.
course,
Yes,
you will
yes,
do
yes.
it, because engineering, unlike science, has this problem that many times from second year onwards, we have to tell students things that they will learn later.
Right,
So it is not always derivational.
right. So right now just make connections in the things that
Yes,
you're saying. Yes.
and some minimum information is given at that time.
Right.
Okay, I am telling you this much. I am not giving you any proof for this. I am not giving you any.
So this is the kind of preparation you did before you started teaching a class.
Yes.
What I'll leave, what I'll say assume, and
Right.
what I'll connect.
Correct. And then at that time I will take a call that which course I am teaching.
Right.
I am teaching course on communication. So in this block I will focus on what is the communication spirit of this.
Right.
The same circuit can be taught in electronics circuits course.
But in a different way.
Entirely different way. But here I have to focus on synchronization,
Right.
acquisition, that kind of a thing. So from that angle, I would say,
Effective delivery, one would say that.
yeah, I mean, keeping in mind the spirit of the course.
Right. So two things, from your discussion on writing research papers and the way you prepared for your class that come out, is that communication is very important. How you communicate things.
Yes.
Your papers, same papers got accepted when you communicated better.
Yes.
So as a teacher and now as an administrator, how much emphasis do you give on communications courses? Because a lot of students have difficulty in that.
Right. So the more I sort of got more institutional responsibilities, whether in IIT Kanpur or elsewhere, the more I realized that the most important and the hardest thing in this world is communication. It is the hardest thing, and I cannot think of anything more important than that. And I started giving lot of respect and regard to the advertising industry.
Okay, yes, because the way they communicate.
I mean, they are able to communicate to a large audience.
Yes. With very effective,
Yes.
short sentences, yes.
So my roles gave me huge respect for the advertising industry.
Another learning experience.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you can learn so many things from them. I often have to struggle to message whatever is in my mind.
Right.
Right. If I tell to a friend, he will probably understand it easily.
Right.
If I tell it to same thing to a person who's sort of junior to me in the administrative hierarchy,
Right.
he will interpret it differently.
Right.
So I have to tell the same thing, I have to use different words.
Okay. So you learned, and then you also do you kind of advocate this in communications courses at different places? For example, you are at BHU and now and at IIT Roorkee. Did you emphasize this to faculty members or the people who develop courses?
I emphasize it without saying that communication is important.
Again, kind of create an environment.
So, for example, I'll work with them over the drafts, any document that is prepared.
Right.
So, I will always work with the team.
Okay.
Any message that has
You're
to go
on top
to.
of things, and you're also communicating. You're teaching them how to
I'll
communicate.
keep on iterating with them.
Right.
So, whenever some message has to go to the world outside,
Yes.
I will work with my team closely till it is to my satisfaction also.
Okay. So they learn in the process.
I also learn.
Yes,
Yeah,
of course. So since you talked about, using different strategies to address different classes, did you employ different methods when you're teaching the institute core course in electrical engineering, which a lot of students find very tough, and the departmental courses? Did you prepare differently? Did you think of a different audience? What did you do?
Yeah, so the focus on departmental courses would be that can I encourage the student to take communications as his area for higher studies.
Okay.
So I would teach from that angle, that can I make him more eager to learn, can I make him more hungry for knowing more about communications,
Right.
then he or she will be more inclined to take up a higher studies.
Right.
So I would like to get more people in my tribe.
Right.
So, but if I teach an institutional course, my focus was very different.
Right.
There my focus was that how this is an example of all other forms of engineering. Although I would be teaching introduction to
So
electronics.
this is part of engineering
Yes.
and connected to other branches.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So very nice. This is something very nice to learn from you, for those who are watching. And so tell me now, when you do this core course, and laboratories are very important component of this. That's why I said I'll come back to you. And you seem to be going away from experiments, doing theory. Did you find the same thing among the students, that they don't want to do lab, just do the theory work and be happy with it? Or if they did, how did you kind of motivate them to do labs?
So I think when I was involved in lab teaching, I have not been involved in lab teaching for quite some time. At that time, world was not like today's world.
Okay.
It was like students were more interested in doing things, more
Okay.
interested in doing the labs, the lab report. I think today it is much more difficult because the class sizes are more, group sizes are larger. So each student does not get an opportunity to do the hands-on thing
Right.
that he or she can do. And it is become much harder to design experiments which will attract them.
Okay.
20 years back, it was not that difficult. Today, because of the proliferation of Google and internet, many of these things become very obvious to the students.
So they're not interested. They get bored.
They're not interested. But for the teachers, it's a challenge to design, how to design the experiments so that they become more interesting.
Right. So in that context, do you think it's a good idea to have virtual laboratories where students can just play on the, with the buttons and do the experiments, or is hands-on for engineering education important?
See, I would not say good or bad. I would say it is there and we must use it.
Okay.
There is absolutely no question why we should not use virtual. Now you can say that, okay, for the more interested student
Right.
with the background in virtual labs, he can go to real hands-on.
Okay, okay. So you prepare them,
Yes.
let everybody do it, but
Yes.
those who are more interested, they can get.
They can go to the next step.
That will also reduce the load on the system.
Exactly, exactly. We have to come up with these ways by which we use more and more of technology
Right.
to make our experience of the students more sort of fascinating, more interesting.
Right, right, right. So, you talk about this learning through everything. Your papers are not accepted by referee, you learn. Students make you learn. You made a very interesting comment later that you learn through examinations also, and you also use examinations as a way of teaching. Tell us a little more about it.
So this is very interesting. You go and ask my wife that when I'm most uncomfortable.
Right.
And she knows that it is when I have to prepare an INSA exam.
I see. Because you're working hard.
Because I'm working very hard. I mean, some people will say, okay, what's the difficult? I pick up some questions from the assignment, do this, that.
Yeah.
There are so many questions there. You just pick up and make a balanced paper and it's done. But I would always strive to see, can I bring a concept which has not been vividly explained in the class,
Right.
so that the question paper can identify the more brighter students.
Right.
The question paper has one more objective in addition to giving confidence to the students that they have understood the subject.
Right, right.
It also has the job of trying to create a discrimination,
Yes.
which student has understood better.
Because you finally have to give a certificate. Great.
Yes. So these two conflicting objectives have to be met by the question paper setter.
Okay.
I should be able to give confidence to those who have put in effort.
Right.
I should also be able to identify students who are exceptional.
Right, right.
Now these are very conflicting requirements,
Yes,
because
yes.
if I make only all very hard questions, it doesn't serve the purpose.
Yes, yes.
If I make all very easy, again it doesn't serve the purpose. Now if I have to decide some hard, some easy, then which topics to be hard, which topics to be easy.
Right. So
Right.
you really put in effort.
So I had to put in few hours to prepare an
So
exam.
kind of satisfies all the students, and everybody knows.
At least satisfies me. I don't know students, but I get.
Well, this will also have an effect. Students who are on the borderline would tend to then learn that, oh, maybe I should have known this. I could have done this better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Ajit, from being a professor and a distinguished one at that, you've gone on to serve as the director of IIT Roorkee, and now have taken the responsibility of being a vice chancellor. So obviously the views that we had talked about, or your methods and all that, must have evolved from those of a teacher and an educator to that of an administrator and policymaker. And therefore, what we are going to discuss now, your thinking on those matters is going to be very, very important, particularly those who want to now make our education system better. So, first question I would like to ask you on that is, how do you see the use of technology and how it can be used effectively in teaching and learning process?
So I think we must be fully equipped and fully resourced in terms of using technology, but not indiscriminately. We have to make a very conscious choice of where to use technology and which technology to use. But this choice or this decision cannot be made unless and until we are fully aware of all the options. So I think the first thing that all of us, all teachers including myself, have to understand is that what are the technology options.
Right.
And whether I can use it in a small class or a large class. Whether I can use it in a humanities course or a maths course.
Okay.
Whether I can use it for a tutorial class or a lecture class. Whether I can use it for a theory oriented class or an experimental oriented class.
Right.
So these are, this is like a lot of variations, lot of combinations.
Right.
And for every particular combination, there may be a different technology choice which is available.
So what you're really saying is we need a lot of feedback, lot of interaction with the students and teachers which technology to use, how to use it, and expecting faculty members alone to do it is a very difficult task. Should there be a center for education research or things like that, like we have started here, keeping that in mind, across in the universities to learn about these things, because it's very difficult for a faculty member alone to do all this. Your views?
No, I would say that definitely time has come. In fact, time had come quite a few years back when every institution should create some kind of a resource center. This resource center should be there to help the teacher in terms of letting him or her know that in what ways it can support the teaching process of the teacher.
With new technologies.
With new technology and also with support systems.
Yes.
I'll say small things. For example, taking attendance.
Right.
I think it is important that the universities and the institutions come forward to think of the pain points of the teacher.
Yes, yes.
That every small step that the teacher does.
So that his or her main focus is on teaching rather than on this policing.
Exactly. And now how to share the teaching material with the students.
Right.
How to make sure that what the usual things that the rigmarole, as I may say, for the teacher,
yes.
there you can help him, whether in terms of collecting marks, collecting attendance, collecting exam things like that. So this is the mundane part. The non-mundane part is the technology options.
Yes.
For example, I want to record a lecture because I feel that this is the best way I can do justice to that topic.
Right.
Not on the black.
For example, you want to show a beautiful diagram which you cannot draw.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So I should be, this option should be readily available to me as a teacher.
Yes. Or a simulation for
whatever it is.
Yes.
It should be available.
Yes.
Now here we also have to keep in mind two things. One is that it is not only the teacher who's the most important element in the class, it is also the student who is there.
Yes.
So I think if we can give options to keep feedback from the students and give options to the teachers,
right.
that the students of this class normally have used this option.
Yes.
Now let the teacher know that option. Okay, these are the 2-3 variations available.
Right.
Then depending on the flair or the attitude of the aptitude of the teacher, I think he or she should be given freedom to choose one of them.
Wonderful. Now, in that regard, at BHU you have a fantastic education department with all the psychologists and everybody which can give a fantastic feedback. Do you think it's a good idea at other institutes of higher learning like IITs or IISers to have an education department?
I wouldn't advocate that.
Okay.
I would rather say that the practices and the outcomes of those departments should be more disseminated rather than setting up these departments everywhere.
And discussed.
Yes.
Okay.
For example, when a teacher comes, we have the orientation program. At that time, it is important to have one lecture from an educationist.
Okay. You'll be happy to know that we are developing a course like that.
Every 5th September,
Right.
there should be at least one lecture by an educationist.
Right.
Every department should identify a couple of faculty members who are more familiar with education as a science, education as a philosophy.
Like we have identified you, and I'm sure young teachers are going to benefit from that.
I'm not good at that, but yeah.
So, talking about technology, a big thing which is coming into education sector is artificial intelligence. And, it creates both kinds of feelings. It is going to have a fantastic positive impact, and there are others who are very scared that, it is going to have a very negative impact on learning. What are your views on that, use of artificial intelligence in education?
So I would say that the fear is real, that if the teaching community does not sort of pull up its socks, then yes, it can have adverse impacts. But if the teaching community sort of adapts to it, learns it, embraces it, it cannot have an adverse impact.
So again, we have to discuss and see what the effects are and use it properly.
Yes, proper use is the right word. Appropriate use is the best way forward.
Yes.
Rather than keeping a distance from it, or rather than saying that keep on criticizing it.
And let it take over?
Yes.
Our
use it wherever you can.
Right. Yeah. Very nice. And then when we talk about this, institutes of higher learning, and earlier I did talk to you about teaching and research. People talk about teaching university, research university. Is there a difference between the two, or should there be a difference between the two? What is the terminology? I sometimes fail to understand. Would you elaborate on that, please?
See, I think pure research setups are maybe okay for very experimental kind of areas. But if you do not do any teaching, I think research suffers. Because the teaching process gives you creativity.
And the other
new
way, if you
ideas.
don't do any research, teaching also suffers.
Definitely, other way also.
Yes.
If you don't do any research, teaching suffers.
Yes.
So this is a process. It is very difficult to draw the line where teaching ends and where research starts. Right. They cannot be compartmentalized.
It's a continuous kind of
It
thing.
is a continuum, and they both feed each other. So in that sense, I would not like to completely segregate them. I would not like to say that something.
So they are one and the same thing, and you just teach and do research.
These are
part of academic activities of a
These are
faculty.
more like administrative conveniences. Sometimes those conveniences bring in this jargon.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, so not academically important, but administratively, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, I'm really happy that you're saying that, because nowadays faculty members feel a lot of pressure to publish, and that affects their teaching. Obviously, if you're giving more time there, then how do you think policymakers and administrators can make sure that these two activities are properly balanced by a faculty member?
Very good question, very hard question. Let me try and answer it because it's also a favorite question of mine.
Okay.
So the real challenge starts from our inability to measure the quality of teaching. I think there the world has not focused enough. We have been able to measure the quality of research by looking at the impact factor of the journal, by looking at the citations one is getting, by looking at the kind of journals you're publishing.
Or number of PhD students.
There are various methods. But we have not invested or done enough research in measuring the impact and quality of your teaching. Because if you just go by only one feedback from the students, that is the teaching feedback, we all know that it has its own limitations.
There are a lot of parameters going into it.
Yeah. It's a very complicated exercise. So I think we must invest our resources in terms of doing good research, in terms of measuring the impact of teaching.
Yes.
Because nobody in this world can deny that teachers have a huge impact on the thinking and the shaping of the mind, regardless of the discipline, from medicine to engineering to humanities, anywhere you go. So that measurement is so difficult that it is giving sort of less importance to teaching in terms of career progression.
Right.
So there is absolutely no question that teaching should get a prime place in terms of.
But we don't have a way of measuring it.
We don't have a good way of measuring it. So that is why it is getting oversimplified.
Yes.
In terms of many institutions are.
And less attention also by.
Less attention to it. Yes. But CERTEX should come forward. I think that is a very good problem for CERTEX to solve. They come up with better mechanisms, maybe more frequent surveys, maybe more focused questions, maybe more customized questions, maybe different questions to the students who are performing differently, segregate the class, not by names, but by performance.
We give more weightage to some students on some questions and some more weightage.
Get a real measurement of the impact of the teaching of
Do some sort of a psychometric analysis.
Yes.
I'm very happy you say that, and thank you for encouraging words for CERTEX. Now, right now that we do not have a way of measuring or a matrix for evaluation of teaching, or effective matrix, let's put it this way, what in your opinion could be a possible way until we find such a thing to incentivize faculty to teach?
So one thing, of course, many universities are doing, many institutions are doing, is that they recognize outstanding teachers, but it is cutting both ways. Some teachers who feel they deserve this award have not got the award. So they don't feel good about it. But that is not a good enough argument not to have this. I am a votary that we must have this.
We must have it.
We must have it. But at the same time, if you start giving to everybody, it loses the sort of recognition that it garners, that recognition goes down. So I think we need to continue doing it, but we need to keep on evolving the criteria and the procedure by which we are selecting those awards.
Excellent, because you make a very, very important point, because when we talk of research, there are many national level awards, institute level awards, not that many for teachers. And I think some teachers who feel they are not getting the kind of recognition they deserve is probably because, number one, there is no measurement system. So they can feel anything, but there is no quantitative way of doing it. And other, the number is too less. Maybe we should increase the number, also have a measuring system. They are all connected. So I'm very happy that you're making these points, and thank you for that. Now, from being a faculty member at an IIT, IIT Kanpur, and then director also of an IIT, now you are at a place which is very, very different. It's a huge university, BHU, that has all possible departments that you can think of. I mean, salute to Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya. Do you find a difference in managing a university which is such large academic diversity? I mean, there's medical college, there is, a college of agriculture. So even the ways of imparting instructions across the departments could be vastly, vastly different. How do you manage it? I know you're new there, but you must be getting a feel for the place.
So the Academic Council of BHU, which is the counterpart of the Senates of IITs, is a very wise body. It has recognized from the very beginning that one size will not fit all. So different promotion policies, different divisions, different methods of evaluation, assessment already exist in BHU.
I see.
Of course, we need to work more on them.
Right.
There are good precedences, but at the same time, there are several places where enough work has not been done. So we need to.
It's a huge system.
It's a huge system. Right. So we need to work in this direction more,
right,
so that everybody feels that, he or she, that department is not suffering because of the other departments or the other faculties.
Right.
So that kind of a feeling should be there, and so we are actively promoting that that everybody should get whatever best works for him.
Right. So it's very nice you say that, because we also keep reading in papers what new initiatives you have taken in terms of students' feedback and things like those. Wish you all the best for all this. It's a huge place, it's a big challenge, but I'm sure with your abilities and experience, you'll be able to do it. So finally, Ajit, we request you to give a message to our faculty members who are listening to this, particularly those who are starting their career. You have made certain points along the way when you started. And, now it's becoming very, very difficult for young faculty members to balance their family and, other personal responsibilities of professional life. So any message for them?
So I would say that we are living in an increasingly cacophonous world. The young
cacophonous is the right word, yes.
The young faculty member who joins an academic institution sort of is surrounded by too many advices and too many things to do. In terms of research, in terms of getting grants, in terms of getting leadership positions inside the department. So these are all very sort of
getting and also being asked to do things.
Doing justice to it, how to avoid it or how to accept it. So in this situation, I would say get solace in investing in teaching.
Okay.
If you are able to invest in teaching, life in an academic institution can never be very uncomfortable.
Because it's giving you pleasure all the time.
Giving you pleasure all the time, and at the same time, it will help your research.
Yes.
If you are able to do decent amount of good research, in that case, your life can will always be very satisfied and happy life. And of course, further opportunities, some of them destiny may bring to you, some of them you may not get it.
So be contented.
Be content with it. But if you are able to focus on teaching, if you are able to give enough priority to teaching, you will have a good life.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Ajit, for taking time out of your very, very busy schedule. And it's been a real pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Certex for giving me this opportunity, and to you personally for spending time with me. Thank you.